Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Garage Football. This week, me, Lewis and Imdaad are going to review the weekend's Premier League action. We'll start with Leicester and Liverpool. So, Liverpool won their fourth game in a row. Their first time they've started off a Premier League season with 4 wins in a row. They beat Leicester 2-1, didn't they? So, what do you guys make of their start so far?
Yeah, good. They look good. They look attacking, don't they? They look exciting still, same as always. They're one of those really dynamic teams, aren't they? You know, like, they always look quick to counter and move. They're always exciting to watch. So I think they're going to have a really good season again. They look really, really good, efficient up front. I can't really see them struggling again. You know, when they get the wins away from the teams that should be difficult. Like Leicester's not an easy team to go and get a result against.
They've struggled there last few seasons, haven't they?
Yeah. So yeah, they were really good. Obviously, Alisson's little muck up.
Yeah.
But besides that, yeah, I thought they were good.
What about you, Dad?
Apart from Alisson's little muck up, you'd think. I thought, do you know what, they're looking a threat. I think in the review video that we did, we talked about Mo Salah. Would he repeat the season again? And it looks like he didn't score, but the front three, they just.
Well, if Salah don't score, Firmino or Mane, he scored off to a good start. Mane, he scored against Leicester, didn't he?
Yeah.
Got the opener. So if one of them don't score, the other one will. So it's just so much threat they've all got, haven't they?
There's little teams, obviously, we talked about last year. The little teams like that, they drew the game or they lost.
Yeah.
And I think they won the game yesterday 2-1. It was close, but yeah, Liverpool. I may have to change my opinion, obviously down the line, you know. But I wouldn't like to say it, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Well, I think yesterday they didn't play to their best, but they still won, and that was the thing about Klopp's teams since he's been in charge. Like, can they play not at their best but still win the games? And yesterday proved they can do that away from home. So that's a good sign so far. They've beat West Ham at home, you know. A team that, you know, won't be in the top 6. So like they're the sort of teams Liverpool are struggling against, but they've come well so far. Brighton they've beat at home as well, another potentially tricky game. So they've done well so far, haven't they? I think Alisson's mistake, that was a pretty big one, wasn't it? But if you are going to make a mistake, it's 2-0 up.
Yeah.
You know, but I think apart from that, he's actually done well so far in the 4 games. He's given them good confidence at the back. He's catching. He's made some good saves as well. And it's the first time they've had a proper sort of authority at number 1 since probably Pepe Reina left.
Yeah.
Because you have to say that Simon Mignolet and especially Loris Karius haven't really proven themselves, have they?
No, they've struggled, haven't they?
You know,
just that. I mean, they've tightened up at the back as well. They've not conceded as many goals. I know yesterday's goal was just ridiculous, but you know.
But if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be more concerned if Alisson chucked one in the back of his net, or like if he come for a cross and just dropped it at a striker's feet, like doing a Cruyff technique. Like, okay, that can easily be eradicated, can't it? If you're like fumbling the ball and not giving confidence to your defence, that'd be more of a worry.
It's only his first couple of games in the Premier League anyway, and he's going to learn pretty quickly that you can't do some of the things, and you're not going to have as much time on the ball as you would in Italy or any other league. They don't give you. It's all about the pressure, isn't it? High pressure now to put you under pressure to make mistakes. So he'll learn pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, you saw Jurgen Klopp on the sideline. He was going like that after that incident happened. So I don't think he'll do that.
He will have been told, wouldn't he, straight away?
Exactly. So
Liverpool have done well not conceding goals. Well, that was the first one. They conceded 4 games so far.
Yeah, that's
so
well,
clean sheet. I mean, I know saying Alisson hadn't actually conceded a goal since the Champions League semi-final, and that was against Liverpool. So it's going to be tough, even scoring against Liverpool. We talk about the attacking players they've got on the field. They're very good in midfield as well. But what's changed my mind as well since the start of the season is watching the defence as well. You know, they all around look solid. They look more of a threat to win the league rather than, you know, obviously when we talk about Man City and the other teams down the line, I just think Liverpool have the edge.
Van Dijk, they brought Van Dijk in, didn't they? It's a game changer.
Yeah, and the thing is, they've got Gomez. They've been playing alongside Van Dijk, and he's done really well. But when he's played for Liverpool, he's played as a right back. He did okay, but you can easily tell that his natural position is a centre back. And his block yesterday, when Leicester were through on goal, was fantastic. So it looked like it was going to be a shot on target, so it might have gone in. But he's done really well alongside Van Dijk as well, and they've still got Lovren in reserves as well. So Lovren's not a bad player as a backup, is he? They've had centre halves, that have not been quite up to standard, have they? But Lovren's not a bad backup, is he? I think it's good signs for Liverpool. And Kaiser didn't even start yesterday. So the midfield was Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner. Right. So it wasn't even their first choice. Fabinho, the new midfielder, he's not had a look in at all yet. So
that's crazy. Isn't it? When you think about their squad, and you think they've got players like that, young players who got so much potential, not even being able to start. It's like that's when you look at teams like City when they won the league, like that first time stuff. Like Matchday, they almost had like 3 players in every position, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's a couple of seasons where they had like Balotelli, they had like Jovetic, they had.
But even now they've got that strength.
Yeah. So the best teams do, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean Sane weren't even on the bench. We'll come to Man City later, but Sane weren't even on the bench. Yeah. So that's how strong. And Phil Foden hasn't always been in the Matchday squad, so
it's crazy.
Shows how strong they are. But Liverpool are looking really good. So it looks like it's going to be them and City, or possibly Chelsea or Tottenham. But Liverpool looking really solid. Strong. I think that's good for the league. You want it to go to the last few games, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
As much as City were absolutely awesome last season, the title race was all over by February, March, wasn't it? Really, so
it's like when United won it every year, wasn't it? It's great.
But
everyone was kind of bored. Like they're going to win it again. They're going to win it again. They're going to win it again.
You want to see proper. Imdaad weren't bored about that, but he's a Man United fan. But no, you wanted it to go to the last few games. 2012 was the ultimate when City won it with Aguero in the last minute. But if we could get it, even just the last 3 or 4 games, would be pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't want it being a procession, do you? So now Liverpool looking strong. So I've been really impressed by them.
And is it West Ham we're going to move on to?
Yeah, well, the other end of the table now.
The top of the table.
If you flip the table, West Ham are top. Yeah, I was at the London Stadium for the Wolves game, and West Ham were shocking, absolutely terrible. I mean, it looked like we were getting better. We played well by all accounts against Arsenal, albeit we lost 3-1. Should have got at least a point. Managed to get over the line against AFC Wimbledon, 3-1. You thought, okay, boys got a win now. Let's play on the front foot against Wolves and really go for it. First 2 minutes we did so. Anderson had a shot that was well saved, and the follow-up was saved as well. And honestly, the rest of the 8 minutes was pretty rubbish, I've got to say.
Do you think the problem is with things like a new manager in? Does he need time? Do you think it's just getting the players together and just, finding out where his strength is and, they haven't to lose all the games so far. It's
not good. I mean, look, Pellegrini needs time, and the players do, but what I'm a bit puzzled about is he's had a full pre-season. Most of the players come in way before the transfer deadline, and yet he still doesn't know his best team or his best formation. With 4 league games.
But he's an experienced manager.
Yeah, he is. I'll still back him. I think if fans call him for the sack, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think in my eyes. Look, he's a winner. He's won the Premier League. He's done well at Villarreal, Malaga, and so on. So he knows what he's doing. But you would have thought by now we'd, have a game plan. A lot of the players didn't know what they're doing. The effort was not there. Lack of tracking back, lack of closing down. The passing was all over the place. There was no movement. The amount of times where Fredericks had the ball on the right, our right back, and there was no one else running in the channel, or on the other side where Cress wanted the ball and there was no runners in behind. It was countless times. It was absolutely ridiculous, really. Losing in the last minute, obviously he's not good at all. But you could sort of accept it if the players had a real go and we were creating chance after chance. We gave 110% and unlucky goal. That wasn't the case though. We had 2 shots really in the whole game. Patricio was hardly tested at all, and Wolves, especially in the second half, were looking more of a threat. They should have scored at least 1 goal. The ball was dragged back to Jimenez, I think it was, and then he was very well saved by Fabianski, who spread themselves well. But it looks like every time they come forward, they look like they were going to score as well.
Well, Wolves, as you predicted in the review, they were going to be the surprising team. Didn't you?
They played well, Wolves, but they weren't, especially at the back. They're not they were there to be got at. But our passing was terrible, our movement. We had a stage where Anderson, Arnautovic, Hernandez, and Yarmolenko were all on the pitch at the same time, and they created nothing, absolutely nothing. Carlos Sanchez, he gave the ball away which led to the goal. It's not just about his mistake. I don't know what he offers our side. He's not mobile enough around the pitch. He doesn't put in many tackles. He puts in lovely 5-yard passes. You stick me in the middle of the pitch with no. I can make pretty little 5-yard passes, but it's not going to make any. It's not going to make any difference, though, is it?
No.
If we're going to play, Aubameyang probably should play from the start. I
think definitely for West Ham, their results need to change though. They need even cover the draws.
Yeah, well, that's what's more frustrating. 0-0, look, not the result we wanted. Look, let's take a point, let's go. And to concede in the last minute in the manner we did as well was just a bit of a joke, really, to be honest. Yeah, but fair play to Wolves. They brought a lot of fans, and I think they're going to do well. But that's so disappointing. The lack of effort and things like that. You should expect every player to give 100% effort. And it was like the last few games we had under Slaven Bilic before he got sacked. It was a similar way, or similar lack of effort.
Yeah.
And that's quite frightening. We're only 4 games in.
And you said your best players were your goalkeeper and your 2 defenders.
Yeah, Fabianski had another good game. Our new centre halves that Pellegrini built, Diop and Balbuena, they played really, especially Diop. He was immense. He was, but that shows how bad we play going forward. That our 3 best players were our 2 centre backs and our goalkeeper. Our forwards offered nothing really. Arnautovic had that chance that he created for himself, which was well saved by Patricio. There was nothing else. Apart from, Anderson was quiet. Yarmolenko coming at half time, he was pretty quiet. Snodgrass, I think Snodgrass is a good squad player, but he hasn't got that final killer pass or killer shot. He works hard, but that's all he offers at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think the sooner Yarmolenko starts games, from the very off, I think the better, really, because he does offer that threat, albeit his fitness issues are a worry. And Antonio. It puzzles me about Antonio. Ever since he got the England, he hasn't been capped, but he got those England call-ups and he got that new contract. He's just not been the same player. He's not putting in the effort. And I think he's got too much muscle on as well. Because he had that dynamic pace and he had that strength. He's just not showing it at all. So he's not the same player. So it's quite worrying at the moment. I'm not going to have a meltdown. Oh, we're going to get. But we had It was a similar thing in 2003, where we had these unbelievable players: Di Canio, Canute, Michael Carrick, Joe Cole, David James in goal, and West Ham got relegated with 42 points. So then that start of that season, we had a poor start. It just kept going and going and going. I'm not saying that will happen with us, but it doesn't matter how good on paper your team is. Don't get results. It's not.
You're going down.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I think we'll be okay eventually, but I think the international break now might be a good time for us, because it might get players like Yarmolenko a bit more fitter and more work on the training ground and so on. But if you look at our fixtures, it doesn't look good, I have to say. But although saying that, when David Moyes came in last season, we had we played a couple of games and it was Man City away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal at home, and we were thinking, no points, we're going to get thrashing every game. We just got beat by City, good performance. We beat Chelsea 1-0, and then drew 0-0 with Arsenal. Possibly could have won it with Hernandez hitting the woodwork in the last minute. So it's not a guarantee that we're gonna get beat. We might be one of those games that we might
put in a surprise performance.
Yeah, might nick a win and might galvanise the players, but no, I think it's not good at the moment.
For West Ham, you need those big games to get the confidence up as well. And I think for Pellegrini, I think it's going to take some time because there's that language barrier as well. I know he speaks okay English, but I mean if you're it's different to managing your Man City because the players they're good already, so you're just saying we'll shoot the ball.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play sort of Man City tactics with like West Ham kind of play. I mean we've got some good players like Yarmolenko, Arnautovic, Hernandez, good players, but we're going from a defensive manager in David Moyes to attacking manager Pellegrini.
We're seeing that change,
and that adjustment hasn't happened yet. But no, I think once it does click with us, I think we will start to win a few games. But it just hasn't yet, and it's frustrating it hasn't happened yet because we've had a pre-season, we've got some good results, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened for you yet.
But Everton away's the next game.
I'm
not expecting much, but it's to be typical West Ham. We lose to Wolves at home, but then beat Everton away. That'd be typical West Ham. That would be if that just happened. Get a result when we don't expect it at all. It might be a case where I think we might need to change the formation. It might be better if we do play three at the back and get some wing backs. Have Arnautovic in a free role more like he was last season. Because we played 4-4-2 pretty much yesterday.
It's a bit outdated now, isn't it?
It depends who you have though. When Leicester had it, they had the players to fit that formation. I don't think West Ham have the legs, especially at the London Stadium. It's a big pitch. I don't think we have especially midfield. We don't have the quick midfielders. We've got Wilshere, Noble, Sanchez, Obiang. They're not got blistering pace, any of them. So, or it might be a case where we play 4-3-3, have three central midfielders and then three up front.
Yeah,
that might be it. But it's worrying, but we'll see how it goes. I think. So let's move on now to Man City and Newcastle. That was the Saturday evening kick-off.
Yeah.
Man City with another win at home, so they're looking good, as well as Liverpool, aren't they?
Yeah, apart from the game where they drew with Wolves.
But even that game, they were decent.
Yeah, they're decent. They haven't shown any signs of weakness from last year. They've kind of picked up from last year's Premier League title, and they've just gone at it again. And as you said, like we were talking about, the players that weren't even on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still got a result. I just think
it's paining you to say this, isn't it?
You
start feeling rough.
For a long time, talking about Liverpool and Man City, the two biggest rivals as well. And but you know what? Like I said in the review, I like Guardiola. I think he's a really good manager, and if the team's doing well, then they're doing well. I'm not one of them to say, well, nah, they're rubbish. Like I've had to be honest with Liverpool. They look a threat. With City though, what I've kind of noticed compared to last year, they're winning games, but they're not winning by 3-0, 4-0 like what they did.
Yeah.
So you never know. Later on down the line, you might get teams that are thinking, well, you know what, we can beat them.
Grind them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the game yesterday, and they look really, really good. They did look really good. Like, it's kind of reminiscent of like Barcelona in its prime. Do you know what I mean? Like where they're just, even their centre backs are like sitting past their halfway line. It's just like this constant pressure where they're like almost on the team. And they were great in the first couple of minutes, like the first 20 minutes. And I think when Newcastle equalised, it definitely stifled them a lot. I think it was a lot harder game after that point. Like after Newcastle got the equaliser, I think maybe like you say, after a year of playing against his team, they started to work out how to frustrate him a bit more because they definitely
Wolves showed that as well, didn't they? So that might be a template that other teams try and follow.
We talked about, like you said, we talked about Guardiola when he managed Barcelona. First 2 years it was like unstoppable. No one could beat him. And then going into the third year, you realise the team started picking up on what they were actually doing. And you just had to Chelsea kind of for the first team, wasn't
Yeah,
stick everybody at the back and then just counter them. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. It happened with Newcastle, obviously, as well. I know some people have said, you know, it's critical of Rafael Benitez's tactics. Didn't think, putting everybody at the back just to defend. But I just think if you're playing against Man City and the only way is to, you know, try and get a draw or win, how else are you going to do it? What, just be open?
Yeah.
That was more against Chelsea, wasn't it? But I think against Newcastle, against Man City, they had more of a. It looked like they had more of a goal. I mean, they scored a good goal, Yedlin, wasn't it? With a counter attack. That was a good move. So it looked like they had, when they had the ball, they did try and attack more.
They were saying, obviously, the saying was, if they could do it once, and why not do it more often? Yeah. And that's what. But I talked about Newcastle being the surprising team, and I think they've been unlucky. I don't.
Yeah, they seem to grow like that game in particular. Like Lascelles as well. He mucked up. He looked really nervous at the start. Like when the game started after they conceded really early, because I feel like he sort of thought this is going to be like 5 or 6-0. And then he looked really nervous, and then he really improved his game. He kind of grew, like when they got the equaliser, because he was passing sloppy balls straight to the opposition, like, you know, super close to the goal and all the rest of it. And it seems like the Newcastle team grew. Once they sort of hang on, we can actually get at them, we can score, we can run, and we can do things. And Yedlin, like his goal, he ran like 70 yards. Did you see it? To get that goal, like he ran. Yeah. So it shows like when they got the desire that they wanted to score, then they can actually make an effort. But I mean, I want to see a bit. I mean, I know it's Mahrez's first season. I feel like he needs a bit of time there to play. Cause I wasn't like overly blown away by his performance. I mean, I thought David Silva was outstanding again. He was an absolute master yesterday.
Quality, isn't he? Yeah. I think that's the thing with City. If you're not performing to your high standard, then they've got someone else coming up. You know, if Mahrez drops out, you've got Sané. You know, you've got Bernardo Silva as well. You know, I mean Sterling. He's been great so far. Hasn't he? He scored a good goal, didn't he? So, you know, and obviously Aguero is just sensational, isn't he? So like, they have got options if they need to change. Guardiola's not afraid to make changes, is he?
No.
He's always been known for that. So
it's in the documentary as well. When Sterling wasn't playing well and he's missing chances, there's a segment in that. I think it's called All or Nothing. The City documentary. Yeah. He's talking to Arteta in the meeting room where they do the analysis before the game. Say, right, you're playing. This is the tactics. And he's like, yeah, Sterling was really upset. He came to me and said, like, I cost us the game because I didn't score the goal. And he went, you did. That's why I took you off. Like, but not like that. But like, he knew he mucked up.
Yeah.
And he went, I know I mucked up, and that's why. And he went, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I took you off for that reason. But you won't do it again, will you? Because you can't do it again. He's like, no, I won't do it again. I will make sure to get the goals. And it sort of shows you the mentality of like a manager like that. Like going forward, like you say, when they get those chances like Sterling, they're going to want to make sure they put them away because they might not get a chance against a team that's going to put 10 behind the ball and wait to counter.
Yeah, and if you don't score, you're not going to be in the team.
So well, they need to, didn't they? They're a team that needs to score.
Like, you know, that shows the high standard they've got going forward, doesn't it? As well as in midfield. So
they're brilliant.
Another win for them. So you know they haven't won all the games, but the unbeaten start continues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
they're going to be good this year.
They've done well. Let's move on now to
Man United.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, fancy Man United, yeah. Well, we won today, so that's a good result, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tough team to beat as well.
Yeah, they're a tough. They played away as well. So Lukaku to get the first 2 goals. You know, I've been frustrated with him. You know, it's one of them players where you think one game you watch, oh, brilliant! He's had a fantastic World Cup, and you think, wow, different. And then the next game is like, what are you doing? What's that all about?
In the Tottenham game, that open goal.
Oh yeah, and to be honest, if we had got on front then, it would have been a different game. So it is, for United at the moment, it is about being clinical, taking the chances, making sure we score, because I think we can score. We're capable of scoring. We've got the players in the team. And today's result is only going to be a positive because we've had the worst start of the season since 1992 or 93 season. And for Mourinho as well, that's his for the first time in his career he's had the worst start of the season. So we must change, and I think today's results, winning the game today, is good because if you even drew the game, all of a sudden everybody is doubting, the team or the manager.
Yeah.
So today, especially Lukaku scoring those 2 goals was absolutely. Yeah, it's good for me in a way, as a fan.
What do you make of Jose Mourinho though? I mean, he's talking about asking for respect.
Being honest,
all that. What do you make of it?
I think his pride and his arrogance. I don't like it. Okay, we know you've done well. We know you've won 3 Premier League titles and you've won titles all over the place, different countries, but you can't keep going on about it. It's not just about you. It's about the players. It's about United is much bigger than Mourinho, and the players are thinking. I think as a player as well, you want the manager to have the confidence in you.
Give them confidence.
Yeah, give them confidence. Start talking about yourself. Yes, we know you're great, and I think that's the problem with United at the moment. I hope it can turn around because at today's results, winning 2-0, it shows that the team's still going strong. But with Mourinho, like I think we was talking earlier on, he's always moaning, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it's getting boring now. That's I think.
I'm getting bored.
Yeah, like when he first come to Chelsea 2004, he's the special one and charming and.
He's a bitter old man.
It just ever since his second spell at Chelsea, he won the league, didn't he? And then that. The following season, I mean, the Chelsea physio, that was an absolute disgrace what he was saying about that. And he calls for asking for respect. And he said, I'm not even going to repeat what he said, but it was disgusting, I thought. Called Wenger a specialist in failure, the voyeur, and all that kind of thing. It's like, come on, he's got to look at himself, I think.
See, the problem with now, I think, compared to when you first started at the time, it was arrogant. Even then, he's always been arrogant. But I think now he's trying to outshine everybody within his own team. Whereas before he used to talk about Arsenal, he would blame the referee sometimes. He would blame the situation, but he would never kind of blame his own team. And now I think he's doing that. So everybody, you can do that to the other teams, but when you start doing it to your own team, when you should be. Elevating your own players.
Yeah.
Even the players in the dressing room are thinking, what's that all about?
Yeah.
Yeah, a load of infighting, not just with the boardroom, but with, Pogba looks pretty clear that he wants to leave. Martial's not happy either, so...
Well, talking about Pogba, missed a penalty today. Missed a penalty today. But you know what? I think 4 games, won 2 so far. And obviously we lost 2. We're losing 2 games at the start of the season. But I think it's okay. I think we'll pick up. We'll just have to wait till we get to the 8th and 9th game to just really discover where we really are. But
you still finished the highest you finished in years last season. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference, but you were nowhere near second in a year, were you? Realistically, in
the previous
years. At least you were competing. I know there's a big gap, but. It's not like there was only a big gap between City and United. There was a bigger gap between City and the other teams. So it's not like there was.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
But I still think too much is made of they finished second. I've said it a lot, and I still maintain they.
But when you look at it in a perspective, like you said, since Alex Ferguson had left, we just sort of collapsed, didn't we?
Yeah.
With Moyes coming in, and then obviously Van Gaal came in. We were just sort of passing the ball. Playing a little bit like the philosophy of what Guardiola plays, but there weren't really much clinical finishing in the game, and everybody was saying, well, it's going to be the same game, isn't it? Just sort of pass the ball around and go back and then run in circles. But Mourinho came in, sometimes I think, and that's why sometimes, he is arrogant and I hate it, but he's come in his first season, he's won 3 trophies.
Yeah.
you know, and he's won the Europa League was the second season, wasn't it? He's won. He got quality. Well, obviously, was in the Europa League. He's won the Community Shield and the League Cup as well.
That was in his first season. Didn't win anything last season.
Didn't win anything last season. That was his first season.
You know, obviously they lost in the final in the FA Cup to Chelsea.
So when you look at the statistics, if we were just talking facts, he's done well. But it just moans too much. And I think he just needs to get on with it.
It's just third season syndrome, isn't it, with Jose? So
if he can break through that, though.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if he can actually, you know, get last to the end of the season and actually prove a point. I mean, I think Jamie Carragher raised a great point on Monday Football, you know, against Tottenham.
Yeah.
When like, is he actually, when his chips are down now, is he actually, you know, got through to the end? You can't. I'm trying to think of maybe Real Madrid. But then he left, didn't he? After that, you know, he won the top, but then he left not long afterwards. So I was trying to think when he actually was pressure and you know, was all against him and his team, as he actually got through to the end. So
it's like the end of his seasons, like whatever club, they always go toxic, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Inter was the only one that wasn't because he got recruited.
No, but Porto wasn't. He left to join Chelsea.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think from when he got sacked by Chelsea the first time, that went really bad.
I don't think that was that bad. Well, not as bad as what it is now.
Yeah.
Or his second spell at Chelsea, that was really bad. That was terrible. But
yeah.
The first spell, I think him and Roman Abramovich fell out.
Yeah, but I mean that's the common theme, isn't it? Falling out with someone.
Yeah.
Like now it's again.
But they weren't so bad then. Now it's insane.
Yeah.
The second spell at Chelsea, he fell out with I think Hazard and probably Diego Costa. Yeah. And
he just gets angry, and it just creates this like you're all.
No, it's just getting boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could it be the frustration of him not having control of the entire club in itself? Because there's talks about when Alex Ferguson was there, if you wanted this player, he would get it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you wanted to make this, because he had control, not just the manager of the team, but the entire club. You know.
Maybe because he's like the last of a breed, like Wenger was as well. You know, there's only like him and Wenger, the sort of longest servants at a club from a different era, when maybe that was the case, and when they've gone, they all want directors of football now. They want recruitment teams.
I think Jose needs to move with the times. He's managing like it's
old
2012, 2013. Like football's way moved on since then.
Yeah,
you know.
Some managers are like that. They want full control of everything, the entire club. Or some like Pep Guardiola, I think he's very different. I think he's just focused on, you know, this is my philosophy. This is how I want to play the football. I don't care what's going on in the business side. But
Guardiola's still allowed to do what he wants because he's got Bergistan and Seriano upstairs. You know, he's got all his team from Barcelona and all that.
Yeah.
And he's got the finance.
You see that in the documentary as well, the way it works. But it's really clever because they basically work with Pep to identify what they need. Then that guy, I don't even know how you pronounce his name. The one beginning with T. The director of football, what's his name? Tiki something.
You've got Bergistan.
Yeah, him.
Bergistan, sorry.
Yeah, so him and Khaldoon Al-Mubarak as well.
Yeah.
They have like a meeting and they're like, okay, we've looked at the squad, we spoke with Pep, he's identified this is what we want to strengthen. This player's only got this many years left at the top flight and blah, 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 blah. They're playing with injury, we want to allocate funds from this window to this window so that we can bring in this player. You see the whole process, then you see the legal team and all the representatives fly out to whatever country to work with, let's say La Liga and whoever, when they're buying it. You see the whole process, and it's interesting because it is very much like we've spoke with Pep, we've looked at the squad, this is what he's thinking, this is what we're going to try and do, and then they'll work between them to identify this player, that player, and bring him in.
Well, it's just not the case at Man United because they're buying a mishmash of players.
Yeah,
that's exactly what the problem is with Mourinho. Is it the frustration where he wanted Maguire, he didn't get it?
And Alderweireld,
didn't get it, you know, and a couple of other players that were mentioned in the transfer windows that we got none of them. And could that be the frustration of...
Well, I don't see whether they want to trust him. If they brought in like Eric Bailly and he ain't happy with him, they brought in Victor Lindelof, they ain't happy with him.
Yeah.
It's like, if he did have the choice to choose them and they've gone completely wrong, they're probably not going to go, look, we haven't got 100 million to give you to get it wrong again.
No, I just think the transfers since Alex Ferguson left has been rubbish, really, by Man United. They've spent a lot of money.
Yeah, on big players and it's gone wrong. Di Maria... Who was the other one? The young guy who moved off he came in from Holland, Memphis Depay. They brought all these like young exciting players that just didn't work out from Martial.
Yeah, but even the experienced one. I mean, Zlatan was good for this season, and he got injured. It's just I don't know what their philosophy is. These City, they're buying players to fit their system and a good age, like profile of age. Man, I don't know what their. It's a bit of a scattergun approach, in my opinion.
Yeah, City. Yeah, if you look at City's recruitment, getting Sané, I mean, we didn't really know who Sané was before. Bernardo Silva. I mean, they're good players, but you would before they come to a big club.
They weren't like the wow star names, are they?
Exactly. Yeah. And now you look at the squad and you think they've made a name for themselves, and everybody's talking about Sané, and when he doesn't play, it's like, he wasn't even in the squad. Whereas Man United have bought world-class players. You know, I know Zlatan Ibrahimovic was free anyway, and he had a really good season. But the players that they've bought have been promising. We've heard of them before, and Depay was, as you mentioned, he was quite well known in Holland.
Yeah. He was meant to be the next big thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, Martial.
Falcao didn't work.
No, that's a good point.
I think that Lindelof hasn't worked.
Hasn't worked. No.
By mixture, do you know what I mean? It's just too many haven't really succeeded, have they?
I feel like they maybe rather than go back to the drawing board, you may feel different with United and think, look, the players are getting old. They're all on the way out, like Nemanja Matic and Rio and all the big stars of the golden era, kind of on the way out. Rather than going back to the drawing board and thinking, right, let's restart. Maybe maybe they can't allow a team like United to go back to the drawing board. They thought, right, let's just bring in the biggest superstars and let's carry on where we were.
That's not worked, is it? They need to buy a younger profile. That's what Man United were known for doing. They're buying the best young talent and turning them into superstars.
At some stage, if I was to compare it to another team, Real Madrid aren't really a team that, they haven't got time to breed the youngsters. They have got some youngsters that come up in the academy, but they buy superstars.
Yeah, the Galacticos.
And it's worked.
Yeah. But it hasn't worked for United, has it?
It hasn't. It's going to take time. But United are in a position where they don't, they're trying to build in the long term, but they don't know, they're not quite sure of whether do we just buy superstars right now or do we just get, like Mourinho's in that, should we just be patient with him? I think we're in kind of a limbo at the moment.
He's always been a manager for now as well, though, isn't he? He's like, you bring him in, if you want to win trophies, you bring in a guy like that who, wherever he goes, he wins things because he knows how to win things. Like, depends if they didn't want that, maybe they would have gone a different route. I don't really know who's around that could do that for him because it's a bit of a difficult time for managers, isn't it? You think like who's free now, like we were discussing earlier. The only manager at this point, maybe it was different when Mourinho was obviously on the way in, but it was only realistically like him and maybe one person or two more people free. And like at the moment, if someone gets rid of a manager, well, they've only got Zidane, really, who's out of work. All the biggest names everywhere else have got high-profile jobs. And they're probably not going to want to leave knowing that their job security is in... Like, we're talking about, like, 4 games, and people are always talking about managers, like, people were criticising Emery already, or they're criticising Pellegrini. You think, like, 3 or 4 games into the league, into the season, you're like...
Yeah, that's a good point.
What are people expecting?
I don't know. Well, speaking of Emery, that brings us on to our final game we're going to talk about, Cardiff Arsenal. Arsenal won 3-2, didn't they?
Yeah, we all watched it, didn't we?
At the Cardiff City Stadium. So, Arsenal got the win. Lou, as an Arsenal fan, must be relieved that Arsenal got their first away win of the season. The away record was, let's say, abysmal last season, wasn't it?
Put it mildly.
And that's putting it kindly. So, what were your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, good. Like when we were discussing off camera during the game, like they're the sort of games that we just couldn't grind out away from home all last season.
Brighton away.
Yeah. And even if we did, or when we did, they were scrappy like last minute goals or 1-0s and things like that. So the one positive so far is that we've scored 6 goals in the last two games.
Yeah.
So we're for once, thankfully, we're not struggling. We're putting goals in the back of the net. The only downside is that we're conceding the same amount on the opposite end. So we've got to work on that, definitely. For me, like I was saying to you, both of you, if like you watch the team and you think, okay, it looks really good up in the opposition third. it's a bit shaky, but there's players in our own half. It's that middle bit for me. It feels like, because when you watch like Guendouzi or Xhaka drop deep, and they drop to like, you know, just in front of centre halves, and it's kind of like there's this whole gap then where it's hard to sort out link-up play. You know, obviously you've got the idea of Bellerin and things being wing-backs going up to create options, but...
You said Ozil was too far up front as well, didn't you, in that pocket?
Yeah, he was high, and there's just... I feel like... And that's the thing with Xhaka as well. When you take him off and you put Torreira, I feel like he sits there nicely and gives you an option to play the ball out. Yeah. And I think Guendouzi, when he's in the centre as well, he plays some brilliant balls forward. He knows what to look for. He can play a ball and show maturity beyond his years.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like we have a lot of sideways and backwards balls from the centre of the park going back. And then it kind of becomes a bit jerky and a bit, like, especially with Cech, like we saw again today, didn't we? Like, you can't fault Cech for his ability in goal. Like, although he's been dodgy in terms of the feet stuff, but he hasn't put in a bad shift in the actual goal, I don't think.
No, he saved us a bit, but he's, we saw another example today of bad play with his feet, basically passed the ball to Harry Arthur. I don't know what Arsenal player he was trying to pass to. They got to Arthur on the edge of the box. He should have scored. He blasted it over, didn't he? It's like, oh, here we go again with Cech and goal. But I think going forward, Arsenal looked good. Yeah. The link up. I mean, it's good. I think it was good to see Aubameyang and Lacazette both start today.
Yeah.
I think you can just tell they made a difference. The link up is fantastic. I mean, Arsenal's second goal, so Aubameyang's goal. The link up play between Ozil and Lacazette, and then eventually to Aubameyang.
Brilliant.
Finesse finish, absolutely fantastic. It was like FIFA R1
circle. Yeah, that was beautiful.
In the top corner, so great play. But going forward, Arsenal look good, I think. They're getting better, just at the back, they're a little bit shaky. The goals they conceded today were pretty easily avoided, weren't they?
What I've spotted as well with Arsenal, yes, it's the back. It's the sloppy goals they've conceded. They went up, won the game 3 times, so 1-0 and 1-1, and then 2-1, and then you're thinking, I said, didn't I, it's going to be a draw. And then,
and then they scored.
and they scored right straight away.
That first goal that Cardiff scored by Cameron Rossi, I think his name was, Xhaka, right? Yeah, exactly. And the ball, so much space. Sideways pass straight to Cardiff. Don't know who's trying to pass it to, but then Bellerin didn't close down Bennett. I think it was the left back. Had a free rein to cross the ball in. Bit of luck, and then it was a good finish. But that goal was easily avoidable, and even the second one as well, where Ward scored. I think Morrison again. He had a free header from the free kick to come in. Morrison just headed it across, and no one was marking Ward. He had about 4 or 5 players in the box, and there was no one near him. It was a free header, and that was a good finish as well. So 2 sloppy goals.
Yeah, there are signs with Arsenal watching them today. They're playing a kind of City style, aren't they? So I know they don't really have the defenders, but the argument is for City when they first started playing that kind of football and buying into Pep's philosophy. They were conceding goals. They were sloppy at the back. I remember John Stones when they first bought him. Everybody was saying
a bit ropey.
Yeah. So it's going to take time, but I think obviously positives today, and I think the players they've got. I can't, because obviously I'm not Arsenal supporter, but today I watched it and I thought, Danny Welbeck came on.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan came on, and you think there's
some
power.
Terrero.
Yeah, I thought Terrero was.
I mean, I think he should start now.
Him and Guendouzi should be starting.
Yeah, I think I'm not against Granit Xhaka or anything, but it's his 3rd season now. I still
probably go for the experience.
I still don't know what he offers though. I really don't.
It's very hard because he's the type of player where he's not going to be creative. He plays in that. He sits deep. He kind of. You could argue, he kind of dictates the play from the back.
Try and win the ball,
but he's not the best at it.
Can't tackle either, so I don't know what he actually offers him.
Yeah, well, it's going to take time. But I think for Arsenal, definitely positive. Aubameyang, I did criticise him a little bit as well, didn't I? In the review, but the goal was a sweet little goal today. Nice curve. Yeah. And Lacazette.
That was great finish as well, wasn't it? Just rolled Sol Bamba, wasn't it? And he's fired it into the top corner. So he's been sharp when he's come off the bench.
they deserved their start.
It looked like he was waiting, obviously itching for a start. He got it. He proved his point, didn't he?
The players looked really happy after the game, didn't they?
Yeah,
celebrating.
yeah.
And that's only going to give him Arsenal good confidence, especially the new manager as well, getting his first away win. I'd love Arsenal to do well, not Liverpool and City. But
yeah. It's nice to see, like you say, a bit of positive chemistry, considering like we had like 2 or 3 seasons of just pure negatives, and it would always be saved by a cup win at the end of the season. So, and I like the fact as well, like we were saying when we were talking, like Aubameyang and Lacazette, they you can tell they've got a really good friendship off the ball.
Yeah.
Like the way they
off
the pitch. Sorry, yeah, thank you. Off the pitch, like they just look like good friends. Typically if you get 2 world-class strikers, they always want to compete and try and push each other out of the team. But they both play really well, they get on really well, and you think that's going to help, especially when you've got chemistry up front.
That's the thing about them, they're quite fluid. It's not always Lacazette in the middle, and Aubameyang's out wide. They might swap where Aubameyang's in the middle. So it's quite fluid. And I think you just got to put, the 2 of their best players, stick them on the pitch.
Yeah.
Try and figure out the other, but they've got to play.
Yeah.
Look at sometimes it kind of surprises me if you look at Arsenal's front 3. United not really, but Chelsea's front 3, Liverpool's front 3, and City's front 3. I think they're all world class players. They've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, got Ozil. Mkhitaryan can be really good
on his day.
He can play really well. And obviously you've got the City, you've got Liverpool. I think Arsenal, they'll get there.
It's just their defence with them.
Yeah.
Because the thing about last season under Wenger, the football going forward wasn't particularly good either. As well as the defence. But as this season, looks like the attack's been sorted out, especially in the last 2 games. Got to sort out the defending, but
I'd like to see Lichtsteiner start. I really would. I saw him in 1 game, and he was instantly playing better than Bellerin at the time.
in the City game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looked calm, composed under pressure because he's won so many league titles and big Champions League games. He knows what it takes to be under pressure, and he seemed to know when to come back and when to push up. Like where sometimes with Hector, like the criticisms, like he'll make some brilliant blistering runs, he'll get there and lose it, and he's so far up the pitch. Even if he is that fast and one of the fastest in the league, you can't cover that ground when the ball's already gone back behind you. Someone's got like a 5-yard head start. But
then the argument would it be the holding midfielders covering when they go up? So when they go up, they then cover.
But we've got Xhaka in that role, so it's not exactly, is it? And then when he does get there, like he did, he passes it to their player in the centre of the park.
There you go, have it.
So I'd like to see Lichtsteiner big time. I know he's not in his 20s anymore, but he's still got so much experience and composure and intelligence, and especially to play at that age. I don't like making too much of a big thing about people's age anymore because I think it's a bit stupid. It's
about the talent, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and he's still that City game. I thought he was brilliant. Like as soon as he came on, as soon as Torreira came on, as soon as they played Lacazette and Aubameyang, I thought that's the team. Play that, and I think it's going to be January before we get really consistent results, like December, January time, and then I think this season we'll probably finish 5 or 6, maybe. I can't really see us. I'd love to get back in top 4, but I can't really see it yet. When you look at the teams, like the top 3 already is guaranteed is going to be City, Liverpool, probably Spurs if they keep it up. If they don't
lost today,
if they don't have a meltdown, then but and then if we can get in that top 4, United could well finish in that top 4 still. You know what I mean? So I would take that this season, and then that's given him a whole year to get some team philosophy, know what players he wants to replace with some world-class players, and then start again next year, like Guardiola did. Like when I think Bill and I were talking the other day, it might have even been earlier, like where we were saying he didn't know his best team just yet. He replaced some of the older players in his first year, and with brilliant players, and he's got his philosophy sorted, and look at what happened. So I'm happy to wait. We've waited 10 years for God's sake. So it's like, what's another season?
Yeah, painful, but
Yeah.
We'll see, won't we, lads? So, in national break now.
The Nations Cup.
Yeah, so let's see if that's any good, and we'll do another review soon.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Bill.
Thanks a lot, guys. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. You know what to do. Please subscribe, give this video a like, and follow us on Twitter. We're at @garage_football. Great, thank you, cheers.